Welcome. We are going to be going over the most popular car shopping questions that I could find. I'm Deshone. I'm known as Deshone, the auto advisor. And I've been in the car business since 2006. Now I spend my time educating people on what I've learned, how basically insider stuff. So, unless you were in the car business, a lot of what I'm saying may not make it may seem like we're pulling back the curtain a little bit. So hang on one second. Actually, I need to pause this because I need to fix the Facebook. Let's go to Facebook. And how's everybody? Come on in and just let me know where you're watching from. Um, I'm going to get to some questions. I just pulled the most popular. So I think that in going through these, yeah, hopefully you'll get a lot of value out of it. But I just need to go to Facebook real quick and stop the stream here so I can restart it, and then we will get going. Um, Hang on one second. All right, so this is stopped. And now let's see if we can restart and we'll get the show on the road. All right. Okay. What's going on? I see we got a couple people on YouTube. Good to see you. Let's get on Facebook and we'll get this thing going. Let's see, remove Facebook, delete, and now let's re-add it. Okay, here we go. Okay. God willing, we're good to go. No technological issues. All right. Yes. Welcome. I am Deshone, the auto advisor, and I'm going to be going over some of the most popular car buying questions that I've gotten. Maybe some of these are questions that you've wanted answered, and I'm going to get to it and answer it as thoroughly as possible without spending too much time. I think if you're new here, type the number one if this is your first time on a live stream with me. I don't like to waste too much time, and I definitely don't like to glaze over questions. So I'm going to answer as thoroughly as I can. And I asked if you're going to spend some time with us, if you could share this broadcast with somebody, tag a friend, bring them on in here. They got a couple minutes. I'm sure. Well, I hope. I hope that they will get something valuable out of this time. So, again, the most popular questions that I could find, and let me just share this to my Facebook page, or tag my Facebook followers, and let's see. All right, how's everybody feeling? How we feeling? And let me just share this to my. Good. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the first question: why do dealers take your keys during negotiations? It's because we hope you'll change your mind. When we're holding the keys, it's only to keep you from leaving. So that's usually when your car's been appraised. Now, there's two types of dealers. I want you to burn this into your head. There's 20% dealers, there's 80% dealers. So if a 20% dealer gave your keys, this usually is going to happen when you're getting your car appraised. We're having the used car manager look at your car. Now, when you don't take the deal that we're offering, you're typically looking for your keys or your license. Hey, you got my license? But what happens is it's just to buy a little more time. If you're a 20% dealer, you're not doing this maliciously. You're really doing it to just hey, don't leave yet. What if I could take off another $50? What if I could take off another $100 per month? And you may or may not know, I teach you shouldn't be negotiating in the dealership because that's just losing you all your leverage. Because again, you have nothing there but your ability to say yes. Now that is important. Leverage, you control the deal. You can say yes, you can say no. But besides that, you don't really have much leverage. You don't know what the true price is. You don't know if this is the best price. You don't know if the starting price was the real starting price. They told us the starting price was $650 a month, and now they got it down to $475 a month. Was that the true starting price or wasn't it? What if the true starting price was supposed to be $500 a month and we were supposed to get down to $399? These are the things that you just can't do in a dealership. You're never going to have a position of strength. So I always say you go to the dealership for three reasons: test drive a car, make sure you like it. If you're having your car appraised, it should be an appointment only. And you should also have CarMax Driveway, any of the other car buyers, cash offers in hand. So you should be going there with another offer. And then you should be going there to pick up your car if they don't deliver. Those are the only three things and you should be in and out for any of those things in 20 to 30 minutes. Negotiating, once you know you like a car, should be done from home with multiple dealers. If you're shopping for a new car or a lease, these cars are cookie cutter. Within 100 miles, you probably have 8 to 10 dealers that have the exact same car. Same thing on the used car marketplaces. I don't care if you think the light blue that you like is one of a kind. That car is there's probably 50 of them within a 500-mile radius. You need to be looking at them, comparing them. That's how you're going to make sure you're never out leveraged. I have a bunch of free help in my bio, the Cars from Home Toolkit. You can click it, grab my cheat sheets, get yourself started. But yeah, let's go to the next one. Who's experienced that? Just type a one if you've ever had a dealer hold on to your keys or your driver's license. Pretty common. How do I check if uh, how do I check if a car has engine problems? So this is a used car question. There's only two types of people, and they're gonna. All right. Well, let's put it like this. If you want to know if a car has engine problems, and you're somebody like me who knows nothing about cars, the only thing that's going to protect you is having a mechanic with you. Now, if you are a mechanic, because I know some people watch and they're like, Deshone, I fix cars, I work on them, then clearly you're going to have a different answer to this question. Now, to the common person like myself or like you want to have a mechanic and you want to view it as this is like my home inspection. Example, you're buying a home, you're going to spend 400 to 800 on a home inspection knowing you might not buy that home. What are you spending the inspection money on? To make sure that you don't go into a bad transaction, that you're not buying a bad product, that you're not buying stuff that has a lot of problems because you are not familiar with how to inspect a home. Home inspectors probably don't need to hire home inspectors, just like mechanics don't need to bring mechanics to the car dealerships with them. Now, I preach local mechanics, have one. You should always have at least one mechanic in your neighborhood that everyone knows. Make sure they've been there 20 years, 10 years. They're not overnight. They have a long reputation. Everyone in town knows them. They're fair in pricing. You really like a mechanic that has connections to like a salvage yard, a junk yard where they can get you used parts. These are the things that are going to save you 30 to 50% off your ongoing repairs on your car. When I worked at Mercedes, I knew a guy who used to work for Mercedes as a technician, and he ended up opening his own place. When he opened his own place, I would send people to him who couldn't afford their Mercedes maintenance at the dealership. Again, if you're somebody who wants to get prices from the dealership, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're not letting that be your only price, you should have a local mechanic that you're putting against the dealership. And like I said, you're going to save a good amount of money most times. And that's who's going to tell you if the car has a bad engine, not yourself and not, you looking at the car. So, all right. Welcome. I see a lot of people checking in. Thank you. Good to see you all on Facebook and YouTube. I'm going through the most popular questions that I get and as we put these out, when we put these replays out, we like people to be able to get value out of them, even if they're watching them as a replay. So that's the reason why we like to take the questions that are the most popular and put them out there. If you want to go deeper, We have tons of free help in the Cars from Home Toolkit, carsfromhometoolkit.com. Link in my bio or link in the comments, depending on what platform you're on. Hop on over there. What is dealer holdback? Okay, this is a good question. What is dealer holdback and how does it affect pricing? So from the window sticker price, which is the manufacturer's suggested retail price, and you include destination. Destination gets the car from the plant that built it to the dealership. So it is a legitimate fee on a brand new car, not on a used car. This is a new car question because it's asking about holdback. There is no holdback on a used car, but there's a profit margin on every new car. From sticker price, which is what you see on the window sticker, $35,780, to invoice price is the profit margin. Now, holdback is from invoice price to what's called triple net. Triple net is actual no money made on the deal. And triple net means if you give away every car at triple net, you don't have anything to pay your bills. You don't have anything, there's no profit. So if a dealer says I'm not making anything on this deal, it could be I'm selling you the car at invoice and I'm not making any profit above invoice, but I am still making profit. And this is separate from rebates. This is very important because there's rebates too. It's not just sticker price holdback. The car you're looking at may have unadvertised rebates, but we're just talking about holdback. Holdback is only given away in two instances. One, you really want to sell this car because maybe it's not selling that well. This thing, we have 50 of them. They're growing legs into they're taking root into our lots. We used to have a joke where cars been out there so long it's just taking roots into the lot. And those are cars that you want to get rid of. You'll give away all the profit, you'll give away all the holdback. But holdback is designed, if you had to give away every car at invoice to be competitive, holdback is designed so you can still pay your bills, you can still pay your lights, still pay payroll. That's where your profit is going to come from outside of the invoice to sticker price. Now, when you are looking at a car, the only way you're going to get someone to go deep into the car is to have competitive offers. So you're not going to go into a dealership and say, take off this and give me $2,000 below invoice. I want the whole back. I want the rebates. You won't even know what this stuff is. You won't know how much it is. It could be 5%. It could be 7%. It could be 3%. You don't know. And when you don't know, the only way for you to actually get to the real bottom is to have other offers. So when you get a car you're interested in, you should be calling. If you're using what we teach, we do everything by email. Dealers, the 20%, are happy to do business by email when you know what to give them. Maybe we can answer that in another question. There's specific things that they need to get from you. Not your social, not your credit report, not your address, but there are things they need to be able to give you an offer. And once you know that, you put them against each other. And if you're walking in doing it the old-fashioned way, you better have a couple other offers to actually present to them to say, hey, look, this deal over here is doing this. This deal over here is doing this. What can you do? This is how you're going to get the below market prices that no one else is getting, because dealers will do something dramatic when they see that their competition is doing something dramatic. Does that make sense? So that's where you want to go. We teach you to do all of this online from home. You can go to my bio, you can go to the comment section, go to the Cars from Home Toolkit, and start with my free cheat sheets. Start with my free cheat sheets in the bio or at carsfromhometoolkit.com. I'll put a link in the comments for you. Hey, Elaine, good to see you. Hey, Kenny, what's up? Rhonda, good to see everybody. I'll put this link for you guys. You can start with my free cheat sheets. carsfromhometoolkit.com. All right, here we go. Okay, so yeah, that's where you want to start at. Okay, let's go. We're still going through the most popular question that I could find, and we'll go deep. And if you are going to spend some time with us, tag your friend, send this to a friend, bring them onto the broadcast. Hopefully they'll get some value out of what we're doing. Okay, hang on. Let me just make sure this is good. Let me check one more thing. Okay, we're good there. Okay, what should I bring with me when buying a car? Well, let's separate this in new. Um, what should I bring when buying a car? Let's separate this into new and leases because that's a similar process and use. This new cars, they're cookie cutter. When you're leasing a car, you're going to be working with a new car. There's not really any used car leases. Some people will say they do it, but it's not a mainstream thing. You really want to stay away from it. The deals you can get on new cars and leases, that's what you want to focus on that. And then cars being a separate process. So when you look at what to bring, let me tell you what you need to get an offer. And this is the reason why, if you've ever tried to shop online, it may have been difficult for you. Because as a dealership, we need to know what your zip code is so that we can calculate taxes. Now, we don't need your whole address. Your zip code, that's enough. We need to know what you do for a living to see if you qualify for any rebates, any fleet rebates. We need to know if you have any memberships, AAA, Costco, Sam's Club, any affiliations, American Bar Association, American Medical Association. Are you a first responder? Are you military or ex-military? We need to know what cars do you have in your current household. See, the rebates are the unadvertised things that dealers use if we have them. These are car specific. Some cars have no rebates that month. Some cars have tons of rebates that month, but you're not going to know about them as the public. So you need to make sure you're giving this information when you're getting your offers, and this is going to make it easy for you to get your offers from home when you're talking to the right dealers, the 20%. So why do we need to know what cars you have? Because there's something called conquest rebates. If you may have a competitor's car, and because you have a competitor's car, there's a rebate for that. May have a loyalty. You may have the same type of car. That there may be a rebate for that. So what you want is you want a process where you're giving all of this up front, and then you're saying, hey, give me an offer. Now, if you're leasing, you want to tell them assume tier one. You want to structure it for 12,000 miles per year. You want to get your offers with no money down. If you're purchasing brand new, you want to get an out the door offer. So it's the structure of the offers are also going to change depending on if you're shopping new or a lease. Leases, 12,000 miles, no money down, first month's payment only. Put taxes and fees into the payment and assume tier one. Because if you don't tell them this, they're going to ask and they're going to say, well, there's no way I could give this person an offer because I don't have everything I need. I don't know what their credit is. So we're telling them this. Purchases, out the door prices. I want out the door price, including all taxes, fees, and a number I can take to my bank and get a loan for, or a number I can go and get a check and bring you a check for. With a used car, it's very simple. You're just shopping online. You're calling before you go. You need to know what are the fees, and you need to know what was the price or what was the price of the car originally. If you're looking at a $22,000 used car, you want to know how much was the car new. Now, we show you how to do this. You can get this through the Carfax, and depending on the brand, you can find a window sticker online. But these are the things you want to know. When it comes to sending all of this stuff to the dealerships, the Cars from Home system, we have this totally in templates where you just fill it in and blast it out by email. Thousands of people have used our templates. You can get started with my free cheat sheets to understand the philosophy of shopping from home. We don't look to teach you everything. We look to walk you through a process. And once you go through this 7-step process, you're going to see how easy it is to get prices that no one else is getting. And dealers are going to love you, the 20% will, because you're making it easy for them to do business with you. So it's a match made in heaven. But those are some of the things that if you don't provide these things, you can't get an offer. And so that's it. Like I said, next question. Now you don't want to assume, like I wanted to be clear what they don't need. They don't need your credit, and they don't need your credit report. If I tell you my credit score is 720. If I tell you my credit's great, if I tell you my credit's 850, if I tell you whatever, then that's all they need to know. But for those of you who your credit is not good, the reason why you still want to shop the way I'm telling you is because you want to know what the price would be with good credit. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people in my career leave with horrible deals because they have bad credit, and they end up at a 570. Let's say they end up paying 700 a month, and they're paying 700 a month because they have bad credit. But the car that they're looking at with good credit, it would have been 400 a month. So now, if you get a price offer at 400 a month, and you see 400 a month is with good credit, and then you go and you do your credit application and they tell you, well, the credit's not good, so you're going to pay a little bit more, or you need to know, no problem, how much am I paying more? And they need to explain to you, how is it going from $400 per month to 700 per month? Because oftentimes you're not you're not even getting the car for the same price anymore. When you go in and you shop with bad credit with no process, they're charging you a higher price than you would have paid for the car. So if they would have sold you the car for 22, now they're going to bump it up to 25. And then you're going to pay the bank fee, and then you're going to pay the interest, and they're going to throw in a warranty in the back screen. So, there's some money in the finance deal. They're padding the deal, is what it's called. So when you get your offers as if your credit's good, and then you go and you submit, and you don't qualify for the best rate, they need to explain how it went from here to here, and you'll be able to follow that for yourself. Okay, start with my free cheat sheets. I tell you all, process. I've been doing this for 20 years almost. It'll be 20 years next year. I'm not in the car business. I'm an educator, and that's what we do. Our company educates through books, through free materials, through free resources, and and that's why I can tell you guys everything that I can tell you. I've worked for some prestigious companies. I've worked for some wonderful companies. I've seen the ins and outs of every aspect of the car business. I have a great reputation with how I handle my clients. My clients know that the same stuff that I'm telling you, I was telling them when I was in the dealership. So, but now I could do it freely. I don't have to worry about anybody firing me. You know how many times I got called into the manager's office making videos while I still worked at Mercedes? Like, Deshone, this is not going to work. So, all right. So I'm going through the most popular questions that I get. Um, let's see. What should I refinance my car loan? So the only reason for a refinance would be if you're going to drop your rate considerably. Some of you are not shopping for your rate when you're buying your car. You're letting the dealer get the rate with no competition. It's different if the dealer wins the bid. So you got a rate from your credit union, shopped it against the bank, shopped it against the dealership, and the dealership won. Or maybe the car you're looking at has a special interest rate coming from the manufacturer. So it might have a special rate from Kia or Honda or something like that. But without the competition, you have no peace of mind that you got the best rate. Now, there's a strategy we call of the bank bidding war. The credit bureaus allow you to have multiple lenders access your credit with a hard pull in a short period of time, as long as you are not or as long as you're not going forward with the loan, you're rate shopping. So once you find out what car you want, you should only be shopping an out the door price, not monthly payments. So the reason being is because your monthly payments should be between you and your lender. It shouldn't be between you and the dealership, because you're actually talking about giving them two transactions. You're going to buy a car from them, that's one, and you're going to get a loan from them. That's two separate transactions. And you're not bidding either of them out. That's going to lead to you wondering if you overpaid, and most likely you will. There's a lot of money in rates and loans. That's why there's tons of lenders who want to compete. So if you bought a car and you're like, Deshone, I didn't really shop around for the loan, maybe I can get something better. Try to get a soft credit pull refinance quote so that you're not having people access your credit over and over again. You want to see, can I get, just Google it, soft credit pull refinance offers, and put your information in. And here's some keys when you're refinancing. Most people who are thinking payment are going to make a mistake and take the longest loan with the lowest payment. And this leads to you paying a longer time, and really paying a longer time than you would have ever signed up for to begin with. Let's say you're in a 5 year loan. Let's go a 6 year loan, because many people are taking 6 year loans now. That's the max that we recommend. Don't do anything longer than that. If you have to do something longer than that, you can't afford it. But let's say you're in a 6 year loan, you then go refinance, you're looking to refinance, and they tell you after 2 years of payments, you can refinance and you can take another 6 year loan and stretch the payments out and get a lower rate. That's not what you want to do, because you're going to be paying a total of 8 years. You already paid two, and now you're about to refinance, take another six, and you're going to be paying on this car for 8 years before it's paid off. Your goal should be to take the shortest loan with the highest payment you can afford. So I want the lower rate. I'm going to lower my rate a couple points, but I also am going to look at what's the shortest term. Can I afford the 3 year loan now? You know what? I paid this car halfway down. I'm going to refinance. Can I afford the 2 year loan? Can I? That most people may not do a 2 year loan, but you want the shorter loan. And those of you who've been in your loan for a year or two, you should be not. You don't stretch it out. Don't let everyone who wants to loan you money always wants you to take more for longer, because that's the longer they get paid, but it doesn't make sense for you. All right. All right. All right. Again, I'm going through the most popular questions I get. I hope you're getting value out of this. If this is your first time on a broadcast, type the number one. I send my welcomes to you, and this is the type of stuff that we love doing. If you want to go deeper on process, I don't look to teach. I look to give you steps to follow, and that's the key. See, if you learn everything, if you're going to become a car salesman, learn everything about cars. And that's the way I used to teach when I first came. We were just teaching everything, everything. You knew why this worked. You knew what about that. I taught the structure, and it was just like I was giving you the Bible of the car business. But for the last really 2 years, what we've been focused on is a 7 step process, is a checklist. And as you go through the checklist, you'll see I'm getting closer to my goal of picking up my car. And the reason the process is called Cars from Home, because 90 to 100% of this is done from home, except with a used car, because we cannot do 100% with a used car from home, because we have to see that car, we have to drive it before we buy it. But with a brand new car, at least they might bring the car to your house. You went and test drove it one time, and then it's being done, at your house. But it's about a process. Processes give you confidence. It gives you predictable outcomes, and it guarantees a result. All right. So, welcome to the new people. Good to see you. Good to see you, Chanel. Good to see you, Kenny. What's up, Shelly? Welcome, new person. Julia, good to see you. Welcome. And you can start with my free cheat sheets if you don't have them. They're in my bio. They're in the comment section, carsfromhometoolkit.com. All right, next question. Should I buy a demo vehicle? If it's a great price, this is why you need something to compare it to. So let's say you're looking at a demo, which is a car that's usually been driven by the dealership. This is only going to be for you shopping for a new car or a lease. Demos used around the dealership. There's two types of demos, though. Some of them are rental cars. And when I say rental, I mean loaner cars, service vehicles. So you'll see a demo that may have 3,000, 5,000 miles on it, even up to 7,000 miles. Now, we need to know, condition wise, you should expect the car to be 95% of what you want. 95% of a new car, not 100. So you want to have the right expectations. But what if they say, hey, I'm taking off an extra $2,000 because it's a demo? How do we know that's a great deal? Well, we need to have other offers. So if you got offers, and you can do this by phone, call around, cars are cookie cutter. So when you find out what car you want, you can call around, ask for a manager, get multiple offers, or you can use our way and do it all by email. But once you actually get your offers, if your best offer on a new car is 5,000 off, but then you see that there's a demo that's giving you 9,000 off, well, that's a pretty significant difference from what my best offer is with no mileage. So I'm going to consider that. But if I'm getting offers of 4,000 off, 3,000 off, 4,500 off, 5,000 off, and then the demo is 6,000 off, I'm not really excited about an extra $1,000 for a car that's been driven. So if you just went in and talked to the dealer and said, "Hey, give me the demo 6,000 off," with nothing to compare it to, then you don't even know that I could have got a brand new one with no mileage for only a couple dollars more than I paid. This is why multiple offers is the key. Yeah, this is why multiple offers are the key. A demo can be a phenomenal opportunity, or it could be a way for them to move a car with mileage on it without giving you much off. Only way for you to know that is to have other offers to compare it to. All right. All right. Next question. How do I spot a lemon before buying a car? This is almost impossible because a lemon is a car that has the same issue 3 times. If you're looking at a new car, it could be a lemon. If you're looking at a used car, it could be a lemon. But if you send this car back to the service shop 3 times for the same thing, then you can file a lemon law case. In most cases, you want to seek a professional lemon law attorney on this. But with a new car, it's almost impossible because you don't know if a car is made bad. The only thing you can do is we do something called a Cars from Home DNA check. You go into Google, you type in the specific year of the vehicle, and you follow it up with reliability. You followed up with initial quality. Now, if this is a car that has been out, like this is the 4th year that the car's been out, there's plenty of history to pull from to see if this car has an issue. But if the car is a brand new car, and some of you know, we were taught don't buy a car the first year it comes out. Don't buy a car if it has a new steering system. Don't buy a car if it has a new anything brand new suspension system that they just invented, new transmission that they just designed, because it's not proven. But in the case of a used car, you can look on the Carfax. Service records are key. You must see service records. Do you see the same issue? Do you see service records for the same issue? Do you see them repairing the same thing? That could be an indicator. But again, the biggest thing is to check the car's DNA, check reliability, check initial quality, which is the first 90 days, and check longevity. Type in 2019 Kia Optima longevity. See what the data says, and make sure you type in the year. That's going to be your best shot. But a lemon is a surprise to most people who get it. You just need to know when you qualify for a lemon case, a lemon law case, and you need to pursue it. It sucks. Anybody ever have a lemon? Anybody ever have a lemon? Hey, Shelly. Hey, Kenny. What is your view on purchasing a maintenance package? Well, this depends on if it's going to save me money. A maintenance package is different than an extended warranty. An extended warranty is going to cover things that break under the manufacturer's like way they built the car. The navigation system went out. The electric is flaring all over the place. What's going on? It's lights all over this car. An extended warranty covers that. A maintenance plan is going to cover your oil changes at a minimum. Some of the more comprehensive maintenance packages with Mercedes would cover, more comprehensive services, brake fluid change. Very few still cover brakes. BMW used to try to do that, but I think it got a little too expensive for them to maintain it. But if it's saving me money, I'm not doing it for convenience. So if the maintenance package is $1,100, you need to know how much would it cost me if I paid it out of pocket. You go to the service department. This will take you 5 minutes. You ask for a service writer or a service manager. Don't ask the salesman. Don't ask the finance manager, because they're going to find a way to make sure that the service price exceeds what the service plan costs. They'll tell you, yeah, you're going to spend 1,200 if you do it out of pocket. You go back there and you say, how much is my service usually over 3 years, my maintenance? And they might say, well, your oil change is going to be this, your oil change is going to be that, your brake fluid is going to be this. All right, you'll spend about 900 bucks over 3 years. Then you know there's no reason for me to spend 1,100 on a service package or 900 on a service package. Again, if it's not saving you money, it's no point in prepaying it because that's all you're doing. You're prepaying your service for 2 or 3 or 4 years. You need to make money by doing that. It needs to save you money by doing that. If it doesn't, just pay it out of pocket once a year or when you need it. All right. Great question. All right. I'm going through my most popular questions that I get. Good to see everybody checking in. Feel free to send this to a friend. Hopefully, they get value out of it. My name is Deshone, the Auto Advisor. I appreciate you. If you're not following me, I invite you to follow me because this is all we do is we give insider information. I've been in the car business for almost 20 years. Right now, I'm outside of the car business for the last 5 years teaching, and that's what we do. We teach a process called the Cars from Home process where you can get below market deals, leases, new cars, used cars from home with confidence. Start with my free cheat sheets. They're in the bio or they're in my the comment section in the carsfromhometoolkit.com. So you can start with my free cheat sheets and you can go from there. All right, let's go, Kenny. You said, say if I want a Silverado for 22 used, I still ask them what was the new price of the truck. Well, you don't determine what you want the truck to be. The point is before you buy any used car, you should know what it was new. That's probably the most important thing about buying a used car, price wise. When it comes to did I get a good price on this used car, the most important thing is what was the price when it was new. This is what we call the Cars from Home True Value Discount. True Value Discount. I don't care what the asking price is. I care how much of a percentage I got off the brand new price. Many people are out here buying cars for 29,000, and when they pull the brand new price of that used car, they're going to find out that it was 31,000 brand new and it's 2 years old and they're only saving $2,000. So that's how we compare. All right. So I'm going through some of my most popular questions, the most popular car buying questions that I could find. Let's keep it going. How can I lower my monthly car payment? Well, if you, are we talking about as you shop or are you talking about you've already gotten the car? Because the only way to lower your monthly car payment is to refinance the car. And if you refinance the car and you have lowered the balance, the principal, the amount you owe. So you bought it, your loan was for 30, you've paid it down to 23. Now you can refinance, get a loan for 23, and that's going to lower your payment. Now, another thing is if your interest rate was very high and you significantly improved your credit, or you just got a bad interest rate and you're going to refinance. So you took a 12% interest rate and you didn't know, and now you can qualify for something better like 7%. You go and you refinance. That's going to lower your payment. But that's the only way. And if you're truly in a car that you can't afford, then you may want to consider selling that car. Get your cash offers from CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book, Instant Cash Offer, Car Gurus. Get a bunch of cash offers. See how much you can get for the car. And if you can get out of the car, you can go buy a less expensive car. Because that really is the issue for a lot of people. You're buying more car than you can afford, or you're buying cars and you're letting dealers overcharge you for the cars because you don't know what you're doing. In any case, that can be fixed with a different level of action. I can't tell you how many times I tell people, look at a buy here, pay here car. If you are struggling and you need a $5 or $6 or $7,000 car, my first car when I was 20 years old was a buy here, pay here car. I made sure that the car was a quality car. It was about 7 years old when I got it. They said I could pay $50 a week and I didn't need credit. And I went and I got that car and I kept that car for 7 years. So it was a $6,000 car, I want to say, maybe not even that much. But the point is, it was a quality car, got me on the road, and I made sure it was a quality car. This is what you need to do. There are other options here. You don't need to go into the dealership and get a $15,000 to $20,000 car, and if you're not ready for that. Okay? A lot of people need a low car payment now. And I preach leasing. That's where you get 100, $250 payments on some of these cars if you find the right car. Some of these electric leases, opportunity is incredible, for some of these $30,000 electric cars, brand new, and what you can lease them for. There's tons of opportunity. You just need to know what to do. Okay, this is what we teach. We guide you through the process. You can start with my free cheat sheets in my bio or the comment section at carsfromhometoolkit.com. I see people. I've been seeing people for years with the $1,000 car payments, and now they make a joke about it. Now you can see literally people all over Instagram and TikTok joking about people's car payments being $1,000. They're in this. They're who did you guys see the ones they were asking car salesmen what their average car payment was? They went all through the dealership. These are people who worked at the dealership, and they were asking them what their car payment was. When I tell you that most dealerships have salesmen who do not understand the numbers, this is why I advise. This is why I take what I do so seriously, because when I was in a dealership, look, I've worked at some incredible places, Yankee Stadium type places, like it is big major league places, 250 new cars a month, or 350 new cars a month. I've worked at places where you were the finance manager. They trust their salesmen, they train their salesmen. You didn't go from a salesman to a finance manager to do your paperwork. You sat with one person, they sold you the car, they did all your paperwork, submitted your credit app. That is where I worked at. These people who have they got into the car business, and the dealers told them, just get the customer on a car and then come to us for the numbers. And they never trained them. And there are thousands of salesmen out in this country, untrained, unqualified to talk to the public, don't understand anything. And a lot of them will check in and they'll DM me and say, look, I'm in the car business, man. I appreciate what you share because this helps me learn. I don't learn this stuff in the dealership, so don't think you're at a loss because you don't know these things. Without us putting this information out, without good people out here who don't work in the car business anymore actually telling you the things that we couldn't tell you when we were in the car business, there would be no way for the public to even remotely start getting the information. But it's here now, and that's what we've been doing for a long time. Okay, next question. Why is focusing on your monthly payment a huge mistake? This is what you call a payment shopper. And car dealers, especially the 80%, love payment shoppers, which is why one of the first questions when you walk into the dealership and land on a car is, what do you want your payment to be? Because payments can be manipulated. If I stretch out the loan to 84, 96 months, and all you care about was your payment, you don't know that this is a 96-month loan until you get the car home, and you might not even know for a year until you go to trade in the car and someone sees you're in a 96-month loan because all you focused on was monthly payment. Now, when you're shopping for a new or used car, not a lease, you should be shopping an out the door number. Taxes, fees, everything included, and you should be comparing that to other used cars, or if you're buying a new car, comparing that to other new car offers that you're getting. I recommend you get at least 5 offers for a new car before you buy it. I recommend you see at least 5 different used cars online before you buy them. And then you know how much they are brand new. But you got to know how much a used car is brand new and then compare it to the what they're asking. But when I'm getting offers out the door. I'm calculating offers out the door. Why? Because payments are none of your business, dealer. I'm talking payments to people I'm getting my loan from. I'm talking payments to my bank, to my credit union. And I will give you the opportunity to see if you can beat what my credit union or bank says. But I'm not interested in working out my payments with you, because if If I'm focused on my payments with you, I'm not focused on the price of the car that you're selling me, and I'm not focused on making you bid against other dealers for the price of the car that you're selling me. So let's just say you got a car and I want the car, you got a $5,000 profit margin of wiggle room that you can move from for me, but then I'm telling you I want a loan from you too. Whenever you say to a dealer, "What's my payment on this?" you're saying to them, "I want a loan from you too." And now that gives them another $3,000 of room to play with. So I can play with this loan money over here, and I can play with this $5,000 profit margin over here. And when you mix these into one, even you throw in a third. Hey, I'm going to trade my car or sell my car to you. That's a third transaction. Well, thank you. Now I got another two to three to $4,000 of wiggle room that I can play with in those numbers. So I can manipulate all of these numbers right here. And chances are I'm going to get to a monthly payment that's going to make you happy. But when you're separating your price of your car that you're selling, trying to sell me, from the loan that I'm going to get from the old car that I'm going to sell, then I can clearly see the numbers and I can bid these things out accordingly. I can bid out, you beat everyone else for your car. I can bid out, this bank gave me the lowest interest rate, and then you beat it, so you win. I can bid out, hey, CarMax, Carvana gave me the highest offer for my trade, but then you beat it, so you win. This is how we make sure everything we get is below market. Start with my cheat sheets. Welcome to the Cars from Home process. Okay, this is not about learning, this is about a process. Everything I'm telling you is a step in the process. And when you're walking through the steps, you'll see yourself learning by doing, not learning by soaking up information. If I told you go to this website, this is where we're going to get a pre-approval, or this is where we're going to get a loan, or send this email out, we're learning by doing. We're not learning by just soaking up information. That leads to overwhelm. We're going to forget stuff. And then when it's time to get a car, you're just going to walk in and be like, okay, how can I remember? Well, the first thing you need to remember, when I know people are not listening to what I say, when they tell me they were in the dealership. If you say you were in the dealership, were you there only for a test drive? Yep, that's all I did. I test drive and I left. Okay, yes, you are listening. Yep, yeah, that's the Cars from Home process. Yeah, I was only there for 20 minutes. I picked up my car, signed my paperwork, I was gone. Okay, now you listen. But going in, talking numbers, you have no leverage in here in the dealership. You're not comparing it to, you're not getting competition, putting the competition against each other. Yeah, this is not what we teach. It's not what we teach at all. Okay. Okay. Again, I'm going through some of the most popular questions that I could pull, and let's keep it going. Um, how do I estimate future repair costs for a used car? This is all public information. You pull up the car and you pull up repair costs. Look, everyone knows that a Range Rover has high repair costs. Everyone knows that a Mercedes has high repair costs. But how we can guarantee we don't buy a car without knowing by going to Google. Some of you are using ChatGPT. 2024 Mercedes E350 repair cost estimates. Okay, does this car have a higher repair cost than others or not? You might see some American cars on the list. Now, once you do that, you decide, okay, am I okay with a car that has high repair costs? Because here's the difference. A car could have high repair costs, but not a high likelihood of things going wrong. But when you couple that with things going wrong on the car, not only is the repair cost high, but things tend to go wrong. The only way you are going to have a positive ownership experience on these cars is to budget for a long extended warranty, a long one, and it should be from the manufacturer, not an aftermarket, because aftermarket warranties go out of business every day. But when you look at a Mercedes, for example, if you're like, Deshaun, I want a Mercedes, can you afford the car and the warranty? And if you can afford the car and the warranty, then you can afford the car. But if you have to buy a Mercedes and it's a 4-year-old one, and you're like, hey, it's 1 year warranty left on this thing, and I'm gonna take a 6-year loan on it. This is what we call the four expenses. The four expenses are the cost to acquire the car, the cost to maintain the car, the cost to insure the car, and the cost if things break. You want to add gas? That'll be a fifth one. These things are okay when you have a warranty. But the minute you have all of these expenses and no warranty, this is how people would come out of the Mercedes showroom service department in tears. Why? Because they just did their oil and brake fluid change, may have cost them about $500. Then they needed brakes and tires, normal maintenance. Brakes and tires, maybe they had 40,000 miles on the car, may have cost them $3,000, and something just broke on the car. And it cost them the navigation system went out. And it's going to cost them $4,000, $2,000. This is how people end up with a horrific ownership experience that could have been avoided if you took the extended warranty and you do not take a long loan. You should not have a loan for 3-4 years with no warranty. That means that car was too expensive. If you can't afford the loan and the warranty, you can't afford the car. But yeah, cost of ownership is important. And for some of you, that might lead to you making a different decision on a car once you analyze and look at the cost of ownership and the cost of repairs on the car you're looking at. Go right to Google. All right. Okay. Next question. I'm going through the most popular questions that I've gotten, and hopefully you guys are getting value out of this. Feel free to tag a friend, bring them on in if they're going to spend some time with us. Let's see. Let's see. Is it a myth that paying cash gets you the best deal? Not necessarily, but in most cases, yes. Why? Because this goes back to when you used to walk into a dealership and the dealer was actually giving you the loan. The origination of this was buy here, pay here type stuff. So if a person sold you a car and it was $15,000, you were making payments to them. When the banks got involved, the banks paid off the dealership. So I saw somebody write me and say, Deshaun, you need to look at the contracts because once you sign a contract, it really says the car is paid off so you can legally have the car for free. That's not what the contract is saying. The contract is saying that the car has been paid to the seller in full. The seller is the dealership. Who paid the dealership off so that you could have the car? The bank did, which is why the bank is the lien holder now, and it's between you and the bank. Which is, you hear some people say, I can't afford this car anymore. I'm just going to go drop it off at the dealership, tell them take their car back. I'm going to bring it back to them. The dealership is out of the deal within hours of you leaving. Wire transfers, electronic transfers, this money moves so quick now that the bank has funded the dealership extremely quickly. So the only time where paying cash can create a better situation of negotiation is if you are, let's say you have the opportunity to you can take a rebate of, say, a $5,000 rebate. General Motors does this a lot. Or if you finance, they'll give you 2.9%, but you can't combine them. So do you take the rebate or do you take the low interest rate? You might say, well, if I pay cash for the car and take off a $5,000 rebate, that's going to be a better net cost than this money I would save taking the low interest rate. And other than that, they're making you think you got a better deal, because as a salesman, I promise you, no one wants to lose your business because you need to think you're getting a better deal because you're paying cash. So, Mr. Jones, yeah, hey, I spoke to my manager, I told him you're paying cash, and this is what he's going to do for you. That's nothing but a sales tactic. And again, it's not malicious. It's just you are old school and you think, man, I got to be able to go tell my wife that, hey, honey, I got this better deal. I told him I was paying cash. So that's the mind manipulation. But on paper, that's what I just told you. That's 100% legit. And if you were in the car business, If you know a family member in the car business, they will co-sign what I just said. You're not getting a better deal because you're paying cash. All right. This is good. Is there everybody enjoying it? Type some ones in the chat if you're enjoying it. Were you ever taught that you get a better deal for paying cash? Were any of you taught, you're paying cash, you get a better deal. You just have to understand there was a point in time where it was true. Like that's see the origination of it is is why it happened. You get what I'm saying? Like dealerships used to love. They didn't want to wait for their funding. They didn't want to wait for banks to fund them. So if you said, "Hey, I'm paying cash," that was a huge incentive. But again, like I said, now things happen so quick. The money moves so fast. We're funded. The dealerships are funded in sometimes within 24 hours, I believe. I've never had to wait for finance funding, so a finance manager could confirm how fast the actual money um, gets ends up in the account. But it's very quick. All right. Husband just told you this yesterday. What did he say, Blossom? That you don't get a better deal or that you do? He said that you get a better deal paying cash or that that's a myth. You actually don't. Okay. No, that's it. That's one that one's been around for a long time. Trust me, that one's been around for a long time. I was trying to wait for you to answer, but I'm gonna knock out a couple more questions because I do have a lot of questions that I got. Um, and for those of you who want to car shop from home, you're tired of shopping disempowered. You want to get below market deals because there's only one type of good deal, and that's a below market deal. If you didn't get below market, you paid market value or you paid above market value, which is not a good deal. So if you want to get below market deals on leases, new cars and used cars, you can start with my Cars from Home cheat sheets. They are in my bio or the comment section in the Cars from Home toolkit. All right. Next question. How do I compare leasing? Hold on. Okay. Okay, next question. How do I compare leasing versus buying in terms of long-term cost? I project out 8 years. The reason why I go 8 years and created the 8-year rule is because most people think they're okay until later. You drive off the dealership, whether you purchased or leased, and you're never really upset in the beginning. You find out something's wrong later. So we have to go down the road because this is a depreciating asset. And I know that term's overused, but because no one explains it, it just means it goes down in value. And if it goes down in value, then we need to know how we're going to acquire this thing because at some point it's going to cool off in value. So let's say your car, if you got it appraised every year, you might see, man, my car lost $4,500 of value this year. The next year, man, my car lost $4,000 of value. The second year, man, third year lost $3,000 of value. No, fourth year lost $2,700 of value. But you're going to reach a point in time where you'll see, oh, I only lost $500 of value. Some of you who have cars that are 10 years old, you're not losing any value. The car might be worth the same amount next year as it is this year. So this is what we call at Cars from Home, the unseen expense, depreciation. If you were buying a depreciating stock, I guarantee you the financial advisor would tell you this is a depreciating stock. It's going to go down for 4 years and then it's going to go up. You wouldn't buy it if you plan to flip it in 4 years. But with a car, the depreciation curve is 6 to 7 years. It's going to go down in value and then it's going to cool off. So if I'm purchasing a car to keep it long enough to outlive the depreciation, that's what we call the reward stage. I got the car, it's depreciated 90%. Now I can actually keep it. Most of my depreciation that I was going to take is going to happen in that first 6, 7 years. It's done already. Now I can keep this thing, have it in my household for another 5, 6 years, give it to a family member. It's not losing much value. But if you're not the person who's outliving the depreciation curve, if you're not a person who's even making it to that 6 year period, then you should be shopping for not just any lease, below market leases. These are leases between 1% and 1.5% of the MSRP with no money down, so that because people can overpay for a lease, and they often do. So you stick to below market leases in the short term. The first 7 years, you're going to have much less money come out of your household than someone who's buying their car, taking the depreciation hit, and then flipping out of the car when it just stopped depreciating. It was just about to cool off, and now they're in the showroom in the dealership looking to do it all over again. Ride that roller coaster down. Okay. So that's a good one. I always love talking about leasing versus buying. And we're going to continue to preach the 8 year rule. The 8 year rule is all you need to understand when it makes sense to shop for a below market lease and when it doesn't. It's very, very simple. It's based on depreciation, resale value, and getting below market leases. All right, next question. What is a good APR for a car in today's market? There's no way to know unless you're getting multiple offers. So you may go to your bank, get a soft credit pre-approval. Do not get a hard credit pre-approval at all. Some banks are trying to tie your hands by saying, "Hey, we'll give you a pre-approval, but we need a hard pull." And then the hard pull creates an expiration date on the pre-approval. So now they'll say, "Okay, here's $35,000, but you only have 45 days to go find your car, or you have to come back to us and get another hard credit pull." This is not the way to shop. This is your bank or credit union actually working against you, putting your back against the wall and putting pressure on you. So you only want a pre-approval to budget how much you can spend. That's all that matters. I need to know, what are the rates now? What can I qualify now with a soft credit pull? You can Google this if your bank or credit union doesn't do this. Find one online that does it. Google soft credit pre-approval. Get the soft credit pre-approval. Put that into an auto loan calculator to see how much money you can spend. We have some calculators in the Cars from Home process, an affordability calculator, but there's some basic ones online that you can find. And once you know how much you can spend, you go out and you shop for your car. No one's touched your credit yet. When you find your car, and hopefully you've gotten multiple offers, you find this phenomenal below market deal, you go and you lock it up. You never take the car home, because a dealership is always going to say, "Can you take it today?" Unless it's the last day of the month. I'm not taking the car today because I need to find out what my rate is going to be. And I'm going to go home. I'll leave a deposit, $500, go home, call my bank credit union, give them what they need to get a real offer. Now we can do the hard credit pull. And now you can actually have multiple people access your credit with a hard pull, because credit unions, credit bureaus allow you to have multiple lenders access your credit within a short period of time. And this is only going to take you 2 days to do. We call this the bank bidding war. They access your credit, you get multiple offers, and then you see my best rate might be, 6.7%. You call the dealer, "Hey, Mr. Dealer, got my rate. Can you guys beat it? If you guys can beat it, I'll give you the loan." Dealer says, "Hey, let me see if I can beat it." "Hey, I can't beat it. That's a great rate." You come on in, you know you have the best rate. Why? Because you had multiple people competing for it, and you can drive off with peace of mind. Okay? Next question. Should I buy the newest model year or the last year's model? Should I buy the newest model year or the last year's model? So if you're buying a car, purchasing it, the newer the car, it's going to lead to a more value. But the older car usually leads to a larger discount. So if you're looking at the option of two cars, and this is assuming we don't have a body style change where you're like, "Oh, I need the new body style. That's the one I want." If they're just the same, your deals are going to be on this car that's left over. Now, what is the deal? What's the best offer I can get on the leftover? Is it 5,000 off? Is it 10,000 off? What is that deal? Because the only way I know what a good deal is on the brand new one, the newest one, is to know what a deal is on the older one. what if I can get 10,000 off on the old one? Then I go and I say, well, let me see what I can get off on the current model year, and it's only 3,000 off. Well, I gotta weigh that out. Do I want the larger discount? And this usually comes down to, if you're gonna flip your car, and I'm trying to get you to not do this, Deshone, I buy these cars and I keep them 3, 4 years. Then you're gonna lose because your money you pay to save that extra $3, 4,000, you're going to lose that when you go to resell the car, because it's going to be worth that. It's going to be worth 3, 4,000 less because it's a year older. But if you're a long-term person, if you're what we call a keeper, this car's a keeper, I'm keeping this thing 8 to 10 years, Deshone. All right, then you can take the larger discount as long as it's significant, and you take the older one because you're not focused on resale. See, when you're purchasing, resale should never be an issue for you, because your plan should be long-term ownership, pay my car off, beat the depreciation cycle. It's no longer depreciating. I'm in the reward stage. And when I go to sell it to somebody or give it to a family member, I've used most of the value on this car. The people who don't think like that are actually people who should be leasing cars. They buy a new car and they are heavily focused on depreciation, resale, because they're like, oh man, I'm going to trade this thing in 3 years. I'm going to trade this thing in 5 years. And they're looking to get some of the large amounts of money they put into this car back. And it never comes back because it wasn't designed for them to be purchasing. Okay. All right. All right. I think that's good for today. I got a lot more questions. I think I'm going to do this on a regular basis, just going through each question. It's tons of questions, because what I want to do is I want to put these replays out, and when people are watching the replays, I want them to be able to hear, something that they can that they didn't know, and we can cover a broad stroke here of these are the most popular questions in car buying. Now, if you're like, well, Deshone, I want something specific for me. I want not general. I want a plan, a process for me. I want to know if I should buy my next car, if I should lease my next car. I want to know if I'm a high mileage driver. Does it still means I lease? But I'm not a high mileage Uber driver. I just drive to work. I don't have a business. Like, what's my plan? This is what we do. We are I like to say the best in the world at the cars, at the process of getting cars and customizing the plan for people. You need a process that works for you. And one thing about the cars from home process is we designed it to be for everybody, no matter your situation. We have a process for people who are high mileage drivers. We have a process for people who lease, a process for people who don't know they should lease. And it's all about a checklist. I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. Step 7, I'm having my car delivered, or I'm going to pick up my car. Most people, their process is walking into the dealership, and unfortunately, there's no people who know how much money they've lost like people who have come over to our world. We call them below market masters. That's what we call them. I just coined that term last month. I said, this is what I'm gonna start calling my people. I was thinking cars from homers, and I'm like, nah, we're not going corny, but below market masters. And a below market master is someone who, whether our family or myself, whether I'm getting a new car, I know how to get it below market value. Whether I'm whether I'm leasing, below market value. Whether I'm getting a used car, below market value. That's what it is. And I have these tools in my tool belt, and I know when to use each one. I know when I should be leasing. I know when I should be buying a new car. I know if it makes sense to buy a used car in this particular case. And once I know these things, I know how to get them at below market value from home. That's the cars from home process. You can start with my free cheat sheet to send my bio. It's a great introduction to you unlearning. And when you're ready to go to the full 7 steps, grab my digital book. It's $24. And it's on Goodreads. You can Google it. It's called Cars from Home: 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. We have so many reviews. Thank you to people who have reviewed it. But more than reviews, we have people who have emailed and continue to use it to get their cars. We have people who've used it more than once to get multiple cars. It is the 7 step blueprint to below market deals. So thanks for jumping on with me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Zachary. Thank you, Blossom, Chanel, Shelly, Apex, Kenny. Thank you to everyone who was able to pop in. Julia, welcome to the new people who were here for the first time. We got a lot more stuff coming for you, and thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day.